What's up, guys? We're back with another Star Wars Black Series review, taking us back to the prequels, to a character that I've wanted to see in Black Series form for a while now, among many others, because we know that Hasbro can really nail aliens. So today we're taking a look at Kit Fisto. You know, that guy that has the weird smile during the Battle of Geonosis, or the guy that dies immediately to Palpatine, spoiler alerts I suppose, in episode 3. This guy, the guy with like the big squid head. But yeah, I'm very excited about this figure and the potential that this holds for the line, because I need more prequel Jedi. So we've got him here in our standard Black Series packaging for the time being. We've got him there in the window, artwork down there in the corner. He is number 112, and then on the back of the box you've got more of that artwork and then a very tiny write-up. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Kit Fisto figure. So kind of two things that I've really been wanting more of when it comes to Black Series: more prequel Jedi and more aliens. And of course, when it comes to prequel Jedi, it's pretty much aliens for the most part anyway. So it's something that I definitely have been after. Unfortunately, I only have Kit from this wave as far as the two alien Jedi. I, for some reason, did not order Plo Koon when I got my Amazon order in. I guess I missed him. So this is the only one that I've got to mess with for this particular wave outside of our new Obi-Wan and Anakin figures. So this one is the one I'm most interested in, which is why I'm tackling him first. And I think for the most part, we do have a pretty solid figure here. There are a few little things about him when it comes to articulation that aren't as mobile as I would want, but you'll likely understand exactly why. So let's take a look at those, see what he can do. And the big thing is the head. I mean, it's just because look at all that business back there. There's just so much stuff going on. So he can only look up, I mean, slightly at best. He can look down pretty good. And then you do have tilt action. Not tons, but it's there. You do have to contend with the tentacles a lot, though. And then you've got a little bit of rotation. He looks to the side pretty good, though, honestly. He can't go all the way around without, you know, like kind of doing some weird nonsense with it. So it's pretty good for having so much stuff coming off the head. The arms go out at the shoulders. They do rotate all the way around. You do have a butterfly joint here, which helps especially with the rubbery tunic piece. Then you've got a single jointed elbow, which is kind of those slightly newer, more deeply cut elbows that they've been doing. So he does go a little bit higher than 90, and then those rotate. We've got lateral hinges at the wrist and then rotation. And then we've got our just single cut at the waist. Since it's a Jedi figure, you're not going to get any kind of crunch or anything like that. So he goes backwards only slightly. Again, it's because the tentacles go down past his waist. He goes forward a little bit. Pretty good tilt, and then you have full rotation. Legs go out about that far. They kick forward more than 90 degrees. They kick backwards. You've got your thigh cut. We've got our double jointed knees right there. And then, of course, we've got our rocker, and we've got our hinges, and we don't have a boot cut, as is pretty much always the case with this line. So he does move pretty well. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking for the line, but he's not really missing anything outside of the fact that the head just, you know, just like you would expect, the head hinders things because, again, there's a lot going on here. There's a ton of plastic hanging off of him, but at the same time, it also doesn't hinder his balance really any either. The only thing you have to worry about is the fact that it's going to start hitting the rest of him pretty quickly. Now, as far as the overall look and feel here, that's my main interest, and that's really where this figure is the most impressive because, again, it's a Jedi, so I'm interested in that, but it's an alien, and we know that Hasbro can really hammer home the details when it comes to aliens, and I think for the most part they did a pretty good job here. I don't really have a lot of gripes. This is maybe, and one thing that, you know, some folks might care about more than me, he might be a little on the small side, at least as far as height goes. Kit Fisto is supposed to be like 6.5 feet tall. He's slightly taller than most of your normal characters in Star Wars, and he's not. He's on the exact same body that Obi-Wan is, and they're not the same height, or the Obi-Wan that's in this particular wave. So if you care about that, he might be a little undersized, but for the most part, I think this is a really solid figure. The robes are really nicely done, and again, you know, this is the same body that we're going to see with Obi-Wan, so you're going to see this stuff again. We do have, you know, nice little details on the belt as far as little doodads, canisters. You've got a peg hole for the lightsaber hilt, little paint applications, and then you've got a lot of texture when it comes to the sculpt on the tunic, and then of course down on the pants. It's very standard Jedi stuff. Like, it's just not exactly the same thing that you see with every single Jedi. Well, you're going to see it again, but it's not the same that you have with Anakin. It's not the same that you have with Mace. For example, just other figures of the same era. He's a little bit different, but it's still very familiar. The tunic is a rubbery piece, so it does help with articulation, and then you get different shades of the tunic in there. So the inner robes, outer robes, and then the belt pants, and then the shiny boots to kind of break up the finish a little bit. And then you do have some unique hands on this guy as far as his alien hands here. And then you've got a kind of a force, almost a force gesture kind of hand. It's not necessarily a gripping hand, although you can put the saber in there if you need to, but it's not a traditional gripping hand. But let's be honest though, he's a Jedi. He looks pretty good for a Jedi, but it's all about the head sculpt. It's all about the tentacles. It's all about this tremendous amount of plastic that's going on up top. And for the most part, I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. I don't have really any major gripes on this. I do think that he could have used a slightly better expression. I don't want the death knell from episode 3, and I don't want the goofy smile from episode 2, so I'm not really sure what I want, but I'd love to see at least a little bit of something there. But otherwise, I mean, I think he looks fantastic. The color on him is really good, because he's not supposed to be like bright green. He's kind of a mottled color. You've got all the little splotches all over his skin. There's a nice bit of brown wash over top of this figure. As far as the skin goes, you got like the bands on the tentacles here, and then they kind of terminate in it's almost like a blue color is what it is. And then you've got all the little bands that are across the tentacles up top, and then he's kind of got the braids in the back. And there's just a lot of stuff here. Like there's a lot of plastic that comes off of this head sculpt. And I think he looks really good, if not for the fact that he looks very, very suspiciously like that baby from Men in Black, the squid baby, but he does look really good. He's very different, and the head sculpt is just so unique compared to just about, well, I mean, literally everything else in this line. So it's nice to get something that is this different, that is kind of something that a lot of folks have really wanted, but they also executed on it really well. I mean, sculpt is nice, paint is really solid. The only thing I would have liked, again, is maybe just a slight expression, but I say that a lot when it comes to Black Series characters, so it may not be that big of a deal anymore. Now, as far as accessories goes, it's kind of standard fare when it comes to Black Series, especially when it comes to Jedi. You pretty much just get a lightsaber. So we do have Kit Fisto's saber here, and you've got the hilt, which of course is removable. Nice little sculpt on it. Silver metallic paint, black and red accents, and then of course the hilt can pop onto his belt there if you want to have it unignited, which I never do. And then you've got a standard green blade. I kind of wish we had gotten, a swiping, slicing, slashing, whatever you want to call it, effect like we got with Dooku. I thought that was going to be a thing, and then it never really kept going. So who knows where we're going to see it. But you do have at least the one thing that matters most here. Granted, I would have liked to have seen a robe or something with him. Anything just to beef him up a little bit, because when it comes to the Jedi in this particular wave, they all really don't have anything except just the saber. So yeah, this is a pretty solid figure. Granted, there are a couple little hang-ups with this guy because of the fact that he does have so much business going on at the top of that head. It does hinder his articulation, but at the end of the day, no one's expecting it not to anyway. I certainly wasn't surprised by what it does. It was just confirmation that it is limited, but otherwise he looks really good. Paint on that head sculpt is really good. The sculpt in general is really good. And then of course he does have his lightsaber, which does look fantastic as usual. The only other thing I would have liked to have seen is just, I don't know, maybe more stuff with him. A robe would have been fantastic, because I really want robes for all my Jedi, and as we know, those are few and far between when it comes to this line. But for a Kit Fisto figure, I'd say he pretty much ticks all the boxes. So that's going to do it for this look at the Star Wars Black Series Kit Fisto. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.